All right. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your boy E here with all the cool WWE factoids, AEW, Ring of Honor, TNA, Impact, yada yada yada. So let's get right on into it. We're gonna talk about our superstar spotlight of the week. We have Swerve whose house? Swerve Strickland's house. Absolutely, he's totally killing it in AEW. Love it for Swerve. Love it for my boy. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right on into it. So Tony Khan has recently been caught saying that he thinks that Swerve Strickland is going to be such a great champion for AEW. He's a great face and representative for the company. We're very lucky to have Swerve Strickland as our AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And honestly, it's true. Swerve Strickland, so far as the AEW champion, even before that, he was just absolutely like for the company. He came out every week, busted his ass off, performing great matches. So there's no doubt in my mind that he really honestly deserved the respect of having a title kind of, brought upon him. Like he kind of, he beat Samoa Joe, the impossible. The Samoan submission machine. I don't know why I keep messing that up, but very, very good for Swerve. He was the first ever African American to wear the AEW World Heavyweight Championship for the company. He was born September 30th, 1990. He was known as Shane Strickland to independent wrestling fans. He began his independent wrestling career back in 2008. He's won major titles for promotions such as Major League Wrestling, Evolve Wrestling, Combat Zone Wrestling, and obviously the Lucha Underground. But that was in 2019. 2019, he actually performed in Lucha Underground as Killshot. Obviously, you see on the screen right now, my man had a mask, doing crazy stuff. Love that, man. If you look at that picture right now, like he looked like he got yoked. Looked like he got crazy yoked. Hopefully, maybe he has the number for his trainer that can help me out. Like, I could be the next kill shot, bro. Like, let's make this happen. Let's make I'll stretch here so I don't pull a hammy. Just kidding. No. So like I said, he was in Lucha Underground 2019. He started his career in WWE. He worked as Isaiah Swerve Scott. Swerve Scott. NXT, he was on Hit Row, and he won the North American Championship. Very, very prestigious champion title inside the WWE NXT. He made it to SmackDown, and like I kind of like hint before, and if you guys have been paying any attention to like how my podcasts kind of go, is that when Vince McMahon was in control and WWE NXT superstars made it to the main roster, ultimately they got kicked down. They weren't, no one handled them well. Nobody knew what to do with their storylines and stuff like that. So ultimately, Swerve Strickland was released from the WWE. He made it to AEW. He formed a tag team with the man you see right there, Keith Lee, winning the AEW World Tag Team titles. Eventually, they did, kind of split because Swerve, turned on Keith Lee. But that's just wrestling. That's just wrestling right there. So his real name, Stephen Strickland. He was born in Tacoma, Washington. His father was a sergeant first class cook in the U.S. Army, which is actually pretty cool. I'm like, damn, he was a cook. I'm a cook. I work as a cook at like a senior living facility in Temecula, California, and I love it. I love it. It's cool. I also like serve tables and stuff like that. Not to brag, but no, I'm just kidding. No. But I think it's cool the way people kind of take food and they kind of turn their passion into it. And I got to be honest, like when I cook and stuff like that, even when I'm at home, I have a nice little glass of wine. If I'm barbecuing outside, I have a couple of beers, and I'm like, oh man, like this is relaxing. This is cool. This is food. This is the culinary arts. They say in the past that arts, kind of bring out the creative order inside your soul. And sometimes when you're cooking, you're frying some steak inside of a pan, and you're like, you know what? Some salt on that stuff. Put some pepper, put some seasoning salt, maybe a couple of rosemary, maybe some freaking, thyme or whatever. Like it's just, it's cool. It's all gravy, baby, 110%. So, honestly, with cooking comes, passion. So honestly, I thought that was, pretty badass to find that. He attended Donegal High School in Pennsylvania, Mount Joy, Pennsylvania, where he was a dancer. He danced at a couple of his talent shows, which is pretty cool. And also he excelled in football, basketball, and track and field. And I got to be honest, when I looked at people performing in track and field when I was in high school, I was like, what? These people are running for the fun of it? Crazy. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm like, dude, like, why? Like, I played baseball. I played baseball a lot. I also played football and basketball, but mostly it was baseball. And I don't know, like running for the fun of why do people do that? If those, watching this right now, if you excelled in track and field, and if you want to tell me how you feel and your experience in track and field, the GSMC podcast.net. Tell me, everything. Maybe we can even have you on the show or something like that. No, I'm just kidding. Like, no, no. Well, no, yeah. Leave your tip, leave your chat. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Are you running for a reason? I don't know why. Whenever I think about people like running for no reason, I think of like Forrest Gump. Like, you can go your own way. And like one day I just decided to stop running. And no, I'm just kidding. No, and I know that might be, I'm not trying to anger any of you guys. Okay, moving on, moving on. This is a wrestling podcast, not a Forrest Gump podcast. Sadly, because Forrest Gump was one of the best movies ever made. And just kidding. Moving on. He followed his father's footsteps and enlisted in the army when he was 17 years old. And in the past, he was also a hip hop artist. Performs under the name of Swerve, the realist, which is pretty cool. He also hosts a podcast with Montezi called Swerve City Podcast. And honestly, I'm probably going to check that out tonight. Love podcasts. Podcasts are kind of the new thing. Some of the best podcasts that I've ever seen are definitely part of the GSMC Podcasting Network and the GSMC Sports Network. So don't miss on that. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed my show. Absolutely love being here. Love talking to you guys. I want you guys to leave with anything today. I guess the lesson of today is if you're going to run, make sure you're running for a reason and you're not doing track and field. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to hit Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show and leave a positive review. Peace, love, and positivity all the way. It really does make a difference, guys. We love peace, love, and positivity. Leave a positive review. Once again, I do love criticism. Negative reviews are welcome, although don't make me cry. I'm just kidding. No. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok for more content and updates. And like I said before, if I haven't made you a WWE fan by now, we have football offseason heating up. Probably within the offseason, you're going to see like a lot more trades amongst NFL teams. You have my man Kenneth on the football podcast. You also have Manny on the Chip Shot football podcast, TJ Sports, Jeremy Sports, Blake on Sports. Like these guys are going to be talking about the hottest things that are happening in your favorite sports. So if you're not watching them, what are you doing? I'm just kidding. No. We also have the NBA playoffs heating up. Hit up my man Nelson on the basketball, GSMC basketball podcast. But I'm your Wrestling Laureate podcast. I do love to dabble myself in other sports. Would absolutely love to, talk. I talked baseball once with Sam on the baseball podcast. Absolutely. It was just delightful. It was amazing. It was cool. Thank you once again and have a phenomenal day.